defensive arsenals on display. You have to love the fact that they can play with this kind of pace.
Speed kills. Unbelievable goal. Back end. Scores. What a setup. Gallagher is the emotional leader of this team. Scores. What a passing play.
It's a real nice pickup by Mark Bergevin.
Oh, it's a great night for some preseason hockey between the Ottawa Senators and the Montreal Canadiens that they get set to face off at the Bell Center. There's Stützle looking to have a fantastic sophomore season, coming off 29 points in his rookie debut. Not too bad. Nick Suzuki, 41 points, third on the team in his sophomore campaign. Obviously more comfortable as the years roll on. As we welcome you inside Sens and Habs on TSN. Hello, everyone. I'm Tessa, and I'm pleasure to be here with you alongside my former D partner, actually, and two-time Olympic gold medalist Cheryl Pounder, and obviously one of my Northern Ontario best friends, no-time Olympic gold medalist, but one of the best insiders in the biz, Pierre LeBrun.
Well, you beat me to it. I was going to say 3 Olympic gold medals between the 3 of us, just none for me. But, you know, we're a team tonight, so you got to share.
Yeah.
We are a team, and Tess, you had the hands, but I was the cross-checker.
Not allowed in the game anymore, Cheryl. We're going to get to both of you in just a moment. First, this is the second of back-to-back between these two teams. For the Sens, that's a little nerve-wracking considering they weren't great in back-to-backs last season. But hey, it's preseason. It doesn't matter because cuts are supposed to be coming. First round of cuts are supposed to be coming for a lot of teams on Sunday. So this is the last opportunity for a lot of players to make their final impression. But also for the vets that have been around, it's more of an opportunity to kind of create some chemistry with perhaps some new line mates. With more on that, let's head to the two gentlemen on the call, Brian Mudryk and Dave Poulin.
Tessa, Brendan Gallagher is the heart and soul of this team. He also got paid, signing that 6-year, $39 million extension. But Dave Poulin, the million-dollar question is, who will Brendan Gallagher play with this season?
Brendan Gallagher may be asking that exact same question because both of his line mates, Philippe Danault and Thomas Tatar, have moved on. And this has been the top line for Montreal now for the past 4 years, arguably. Gallagher has led the team in scoring over that time. He's had a couple of 30-goal seasons, but probably not best suited to be on the first line. And I think we'll find that potentially Cole Caulfield and Josh Anderson will prove to be better offensive weapons for Montreal on the top 2 lines. You could see Gallagher on a third line. Now, who that's with is still to be determined. Maybe Jake Evans in the middle. We'll see when Mike Hoffman comes back. Yoel Armia may be in the mix, but this hockey club with Brendan Gallagher on the third line will be that much better and that much deeper. And deep down, he knows that. As much as it's fun to be in the first line, it'll be a better hockey team with him in that role.
Meantime, for Ottawa Senators fans, Jacob Bernard-Docker back in the lineup tonight. The young defenseman had an ankle injury, but he's good to go. Tessa.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, as we welcome everyone back inside studio. Tessa, Cheryl, and Pierre still along with you. Let's take a look at, preseason, you never really know what's going to happen with the lineup, so let's take a quick peek at the Habs lineup. Pierre, I'm going to start with you. Alexander Romanov, heavy-hitting defenseman, Russian defenseman, didn't necessarily play as much as probably he wanted in the playoffs last season. Nonetheless, what are you expecting to see from him this year?
To me, he's perhaps the biggest story of the year, except perhaps you could argue Dvorak trying to replace Danault up front. But to me, Romanov, if he can take that step in his game and become a trusted top 4 defenseman for Dominique Ducharme, that's a game changer for the Montreal Canadiens. We saw the playoffs. Dominique Ducharme played 4 defensemen. Romanov wasn't one of them. He was a healthy scratch on most nights. But this guy's talented. He's getting a shot to start the year, I think, to see some minutes. If he can be a trusted guy in the second pairing, let's say, with David Savard, then maybe Ben Sherratt suddenly is on the third pairing. You're spreading out your minutes. You're improving your matchup ability. That's what they hope this year for Romanov.
All right, let's take a look at the Sens lineup. And Cheryl, you're going to focus in on 27-year-old defenseman standing at 6'5", so you got to take a long way around if you're trying to take Josh Brown wide. What are you expecting to see from him here?
Well, first of all, we're not talking Eric Brandstrom. We're talking Josh Brown. And here's a guy, he's quick, he's efficient, and he's simple. He plays the game positionally well. He's not afraid to engage physically, and he's a guy that loves to gap up. He uses his stick for great positioning, and I expect him to push for a spot, if not the 7th on this roster.
I mean, you got to stick that long. It's probably taller than me. What, he's 6'5", so his stick's definitely at least 6 feet tall. So, yeah, I'd be using that, too. All right, we'll continue to set you up for the game when we come back. Youppi having himself a time, as are we on set here, in case you haven't noticed. Welcome back. Here's a look at your masked men, the starting goalies for this evening. Anton Forsberg will be between the pipes. He had a 3-4-1 record with a 321 goals against average last season. And Caden Primo, the youngster who people expect to finally mature and eventually come up and help out Carey Price. For now, it's most likely Jake Allen, but hey, experience. You call this experience deposit. Then you get to withdraw from that later on. We're ready to play some hockey at the Bell Center in Montreal. We're going to get you inside and join Brian Mujic and Dave Poulin on the call.
It is Saturday night at the Bell Center, and it is the final night for a lot of these players to try impress on their respective teams. Anton Forsberg getting the start tonight, the Columbus 7th-round pick in 2011, and another 7th-round pick in 2017. That would be Caden Primo getting the start for the Montreal Canadiens, the Mike Richter Award winner, top goalie in the NCAA back in 2018-2019. So you know the story from last night. It was a big victory for Ottawa. I know it's the preseason, a 7-2 win. DJ Smith obviously having a good time, getting ready to make his final cuts. And he said earlier today he's watching about 4 guys that are on the cusp that have to try and make that final mark. Same for Dominic Ducharme as we get set at center ice. An exciting night on a Saturday night, and for the regular season, we can't wait for a full house here at the Bell Center as fans will be allowed to come in at capacity as Brandon Bannock shoots quickly. Early test, easy save for Anton Forsberg.
Nice little outlet pass from Brett Kulak there. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a little more physical now. They've seen each other a couple of times, and there has been an incident involved with these two teams, and one of the players, you know, is not in the lineup tonight, Mark Kelly for Ottawa, because of a situation that went on. So I could see a little more physical play tonight, Brian.
Well, Brandon Bannock is no stranger to that. He's averaged over 100 penalty minutes in his last 4 seasons in the AHL as the 3 Bs are out. Bannock, J.C. Baudin, and Belzile for Montreal as Primo at the plate, and you called it right away. Look at Sabrin trying to get loose and stir things up with Brandon Bannock pretty much on point, and that's what both these guys do for their respective teams.
Yeah, and I think the case was that there wasn't a fair go the first night, they thought. Pizzano was involved in that, and so I think, you know, they're sending Sabrin to the box. It looked like he was leaving the ice surface, and he wasn't happy about that, so nothing really got going there. Bannock's a big guy, and he can certainly handle himself. Didn't look like he was fighting on his terms there and wasn't that interested, but he will be at some point tonight.
He's a tough customer. Remember, too, in a preseason game a few years back, he was with the Devils organization, and he got in a fight with Nick Delorier and actually fractured his jaw. So Brandon Bannock is certainly a tough guy, knows the role. As Dominic Ducharme, time ticking down. This is his first time as a head coach. The preseason training camp all on him, and a chance to assess his players basically one last time. Both these teams kind of want to cut things down and get a little closer to what their regular season rosters will look like.
It's always so strange in camp. There's a whole bunch of guys there, and all of a sudden there one day there's not. You better be one of the guys that's on the right side of the equation, but it's getting down to the narrows for a couple of these guys. They know it going in, and they'll be ready to play tonight.
And welcome back, the heart and soul of the Montreal Canadiens. You saw Brendan Gallagher on the ice as he had some personal reasons to take care of, and then got to camp getting ready. His first preseason game tonight. He's on a line with Tyler Toffoli, centered by Nick Suzuki, and that is a big storyline in camp. Brendan Gallagher had Thomas Tatar, had Philip Dano for the last 2 seasons, and that was a dynamic line. And now Vito Gallagher, he's such an important part of this team. It's just curious where he will play.
He is. He's having a little chat with Connor Brown right now, and Connor Brown's probably asking him, where have you been for the last week and a half? I've been out here working, and you're just dropping in now on a Saturday night in the Bell Center. But, you know, he'll find his place here. We know that. The deeper he goes in the lineup, the better the Montreal Canadiens are. He brings so much to the ice every single night, but arguably miscast, as was Philippe Dano as a first-line player, because from an offensive standpoint, that's normally at a different level.
That was Mark Suchuk and some of the officials just trying to get the clock set up to get the right penalty times on the scoreboard here at the Bell Center as the puck is dropped and play back underway through the crease by Anton Forsberg. Tyler Toffoli able to slap it down, keep it in, Habs control as Gallagher goes towards the net. Perreault, another new addition for the Montreal Canadiens, a veteran on the ice right now for the Habs. Sent across for Jeff Petrie, Suzuki. Perreault dishes for Tyler Toffoli. Gallagher back up top, Petrie. Suzuki trying to feather it through for Brendan Gallagher. That was broken up, and the puck to neutral ice. Toffoli will dump it in as the Montreal Canadiens try to get set up with a man advantage. Petrie, good hand-eye. Able to work it down. Suzuki walking in, takes it low. Perreault, Suzuki, Gallagher's parked in front. Back up top, Petrie. Big shot tipped to hit a body and went wide. Toffoli, Gallagher in his skates, to a knee, gets back up, trying to shake off the rust. Petrie walks the line, back for Toffoli, skating in, shoots, and that's swallowed up as Tyler Toffoli, your leading goal scorer, power play goal scorer, and overall scorer for the Montreal Canadiens last regular season.
Excellent puck movement on the power play. Using that little bumper position in the middle. Brendan Gallagher just sitting in tight in the middle. Toffoli off on the flank. Matthew Perreault down low. I think Matthew Perreault is very excited about the opportunity he'll get too. You know, always considered a top forward in Winnipeg, but he fell normally to the third or fourth line, and he's going to have an opportunity to play different roles here that he may not have had in the last couple of years in Winnipeg.
And a career face-off guy over 50% in his NHL career as Romanov. Getting a chance now on the power play. Romanov across, slap shot, handle, nice blocker save as Arturi Lehkonen let it fly. Lehkonen accepts the pass, bobbles over his stick as Cole Reinhardt shadowing him. Ylonen stepping in, wrist shot, deflecting high. Reinhardt couldn't see it, it was way above him, spun around, and now he's got the puck. Cole Reinhardt hit by Belzile. Wrap try from behind the net, pops loose in front, and Logan Shaw finds it, able to clear down to Caden Primo.
Opportunities for a couple of people that wouldn't normally be in a power play, and Arturi Lehkonen being one of them up high, but that's the kind of thing he can get an opportunity to do during an exhibition game.
Lehkonen, 7 goals in the regular season, had 3 in that playoff run as Bork, some speed on the left side. He shoots, tried to squeeze it short side, but Anton Forsberg stayed with him.
Looked like Forsberg was just coming off the post a little bit there, and Gabriel Bork coming in off that wing. He thought he had the big goaltender cheating. Shows good speed down the wall, and little awkward outside step by Bernard Docker there, and you can just see it get caught up in the equipment of Forsberg. He's not sure where it is, but that's a good shot opportunity off the wing by Bork.
Habs were 1 for 5 in the power play last night, and just 1 second remaining as Dauphin lining up to take the face-off. J.C. Beaudin, the former Ottawa Senator, up against Connor Brown. Right to Dauphin off the drop. As we're back to 5-on-5, nearly 3 minutes gone here. Opening period at the Bell Center. The young phenom Stutzla tries to clear the zone, cannot. Weidman right on net, rebound in front. Bork, his stick was jammed up enough, couldn't get a shot away. As Gabriel Bork, over 400 games in the NHL, did not play last season. The Quebec native trying to make an impact here now in Montreal. Chris Weidman taking young Stutzla to the boards, freed up for Dauphin. He has a look. They'll fire it in. Habs wanted to change. They'll take one. Nice drop from Forsberg. Quick strike to Stutzla. Stutzla Norris, both top 5 in rookie scoring last season in the NHL. Lehkonen, weird bounce out of net. Lehkonen pulls it tired, and Belzile takes his man down, and Josh Brown. Perreault pinned in the corner, but Fremini keeps it moving. Belzile along the boards up to Brett Kulak. Kulak shovels it back in. Sokolov on the body in the corner with Josh Brown, who Cheryl Pounder talked about off the top of the broadcast. One of the players she's keeping an eye on. Kulak, Stutzla engaging for the puck. Brett Kulak talking to the media. Just another year where number 77 is trying to prove he belongs at a training camp, and he said it's just part of the business. I know what I can do. I've proven myself in the regular season and the playoffs, but here we go again. Got to try and find a spot.
He certainly has, and he'll be a player scrapping, and when he's got in the game, when he has confidence, he's a good hockey player, and that's something you can say about a lot of guys. He keeps it simple and working into being a good pro, and he's done a good job with it, and he's just got to continue to go.
There's Abert for Shaw. He'll chip and chase after it. Shaw, former Montreal Canadian, was picked up on waivers by the Habs a couple years ago. Stretch pass up for Sherwood out of his reach, and Habs move it up ice. And just a step offside as that was Petrie gliding in with Yolonen.
Pretty good jump for Montreal early, Brian. They took advantage of that power play to get up on their offensive toes, out shooting Ottawa 6-0 at this point, but they've been good in the offensive zone. They've been crisp. And I know exhibition games from game to game are hard to monitor because it's a different lineup in, but they got thumped pretty good last night in Ottawa, and I'm sure somebody's mentioned that in the locker room.
You know, Dominic Ducharme talked about it. You just want to rebound from those games. He just thought his team went the wrong way in the second period. It was more the effort level. He liked the way they fought back, though, and competed in the third period. And it's just about looking at the tape, learning, getting back here, getting some confidence and doing the right things. Here's Stutzla at the blue line. He'll send it across. Chris Gearing spins and shoots. It hit Petrie. Goes into the corner. Yolonen able to chip it to Romanov. Alexander Romanov. Excuse me, preseason. I'm pretty rusty myself. We'll get it right.
He still hasn't decided what he wants to be called yet.
He had a great rookie campaign, and he's on the puck. Alexander Romanov led all rookies in hits. And Tessa talked about him as well, a young man that they want to continue to grow, gain some confidence, and maybe get into the top 4. As Dauphin driving in, tries to tuck in the backhand, draws a penalty. As the Montreal Canadiens back on the power play as Laurent Dauphin was cruising in.
I think Dauphin had a little more room on that short side than he thought he did. Eric Ferlat with the call here.
Ottawa, number 26, Monreal slashing.
Eric Ferlat's not in a preseason. He's right in full regular season mode right there with that call. Dauphin cut in. I think he could have popped it up on the short side instead. Josh Brown does a good back job of coming back and closing off that seam around the net.
Dauphin, 35 career NHL games with the Coyotes. So another look at the power play here. Brendan Gallagher back on the ice. Nick Suzuki, the number 1 center now for the Montreal Canadiens on the depth chart. He led the Montreal Canadiens in playoff scoring and just takes steps each and every year as the Habs control. Petrie, Suzuki, Gallagher set up right in front. Suzuki gets taken down. And maybe a 2-on-1 shorthanded. Led by Shaw. Shaw waiting, benders it across. Gallagher got back defensively, though. Able to catch Ridley Gregg, the first rounder of the Ottawa Senators. Toffoli was looking for the stretch pass, and Lassie Thompson got his stick in the lane. A lot of former first-round defensive picks for the Ottawa Senators, including Bernard Docker, Lassie Thompson. Brandstrom, of course, came in the Stone trade, but A lot of talent, young talent on the blue line here for the Ottawa Senators.
Another one not there yet, still at the University of North Dakota, Jake Sanderson. Expecting he may join late this year.
Where Jacob Bernard-Docker also was a star. He's getting back healthy from that ankle injury as the Habs try set it up. Minute remaining on this power play. Yolonen, Belzile has to swing and chip at it. Tierney chasing after it. Romanov able to get it in deep. Belzile can't handle the pass, picked up by Ottawa, and it is Lassie Thompson, maybe a 2-on-1. He shoots, big stop, rebound. He had Tierney, but Thompson let it fly. And Caden Primo, his best save of the hockey game. Best because it's the first. That was the first shot on net by the Ottawa Senators.
I like the decision by Lassie Thompson to shoot there. He's a defenseman up on a rush and on a penalty kill. It's a good decision to test Primo, who hadn't seen a shot, as you mentioned.
Here's Brendan Gallagher. Cutting in, he'll shoot and drive after the puck. Matthew Perreault along the boards. Tyler Toffoli picks it up. 10 seconds remaining in the man advantage for Montreal. Oh, Suzuki through his legs, cutting in, and he couldn't finish. He had Perreault at the side of the net, and Slick Nick nearly created something special. As that'll do it for the power play. As the Habs now 0 for 2 in this first period. And another chance here for Wideman trying to make his mark in the Montreal Canadiens. Top defenseman in the KHL, led them in points last season in that league. Nice shot by Jack-Eye, the youngster, on the blue line. Directs into the corner. Brandon Paddock using his frame, able to release the puck. Wideman shoots, deflected wide. Jack-Eye cutting in, and good job to knock the puck down. Bonan and Paddock fighting for it. Controlled by Ottawa as Aspero sends it up ice. And that's knocked down at center ice. And we have a cross-checking penalty. We've seen a lot of that early in the preseason. Rule 59 not changing, Dave. They're just calling it a little more aggressively, and you're seeing it in the preseason. So Brandon Paddock back to the box, and the Ottawa Senators get their chance on the power play when we come back.
The well-documented absence of Brady Tkachuk creates an opportunity for Alex Formanton, and playing on the top line with Drake Batherson and Josh Norris, and he's had a terrific camp so far, and that's what it is. It's about opportunity, and you know, all of a sudden Formanton gets a chance with those top two guys and just says, hey, don't forget about me here either.
That line combining for 9 points last night. They had a lot of jump in their step. Stützle, Norris, and as we talked about, both top 5 in rookie scoring last year. Stützle's out for this power play. As the Habs able to win it, Kulak in the corner, tries to clear. And the follow-up by Laurent Dauphin is successful as Dauphin sends it down the ice. So Ottawa's turn on the power play to try get it going. They were 1 for 2 last night. As Eric Brandstrom back for the Ottawa Senators. Here's a young man that I got an eye on tonight. Want to see what he can do, and just wonder if it's time for Brandstrom to take that next step in the National Hockey League. As Stutzla's in, tries to drag it to his forehand, knocked off the puck. Ottawa controls. Here is Brandstrom. Stutzla. Little back pass right in front available. As Sokolov was there, couldn't get a stick on it, sent down the ice, and Brandstrom there to clean up.
You can just see the hands of Stutzla tight there. He's a little bit out of control, but he's in control.
Connor Brown dishes. Sokolov protecting the puck using his frame. Players engaging in the near corner. And I believe that's a hand pass, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought I heard offside. It was outside is what he was saying.
Oh, okay.
Talk about the hands of Timmy Stutzla. Boy, oh boy, in tight areas, he can move so well. His feet create so much for him. So much confidence with his hands. Looking to take another step. The management staff, Pierre Dorian, Pierre Maguire.
You mentioned the 3 picks in the first round. You had Stutzla, you had Sanderson, and Ridley Gregg is out there right now on the power play for the Ottawa Senators. Had a 2-game suspension for that cross-check of Pierre-Luc Dubois. Served 1 in the preseason. Whenever his NHL career begins, he'll be suspended for his first game, but he took ownership of it. Obviously made a mistake, but the Sens are very high on this young man. As Sherwood tries to give the go, gets the puck back. Agostino picks it up, waits, still with it. Gives for Gregg. 20 seconds remaining in the man advantage. Gregg, Sherwood shoots, and Petrie helping out his goalie. Caden Primo made the initial stop. Petrie takes it out of that dangerous area. Lassie Thompson, wrist shot. Suzuki, nice block, and that's high and out of play as Suzuki blocks it, gets in the way, and we got 8 seconds remaining in the man advantage.
Caden Primo in a little bit of an unusual situation. He knows there are 2 incumbents in front of him, and he's put up good numbers in his couple of years down in Laval, but he knows it's going to be more time, and you know, he just works on his game. That's all he's got to do. But when I talk about excellent numbers, he's 28, 15, and 13 in his AHL career so far. So put up real solid numbers.
Connor Brown deflection and off the glove and out of play, and the Habs picking up Sam Montembeault off waivers from Florida, as they're pretty blessed right now with Bobrovsky. You have the phenom Spencer Knight coming up, who played a United States National Team Development Program with Cole Caulfield. So Sam Montembeault now in the Habs program.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the move is there, because they'll have to put him on waivers to send him to Laval. So
Bernard Docker shoots and swallowed up by Primo. And that'll do it for the power play, as the shots are 6-4 in favor of Montreal, and we await our first goal on this Saturday night at the Bell Center. Brendan Gallagher, he had 14 goals last season in 35 games, playing with, of course, Philip Dano, Thomas Tatar, and that'll be an interesting storyline going forward.
Yeah, interesting night to see him with Matthew Perreault, because there's a pair that could play together and cause all kinds of issues for whomever they're playing with. Maybe Yoel Armia might be moved over to the left wing. He's an option. He's a versatile player and a big, strong guy. That would give you a nice defensive side of things as well.
Mark Kastelik lining up to take the draw with Ryan Poehling. Poehling, another young man, former first-round pick, trying to make an impact, playing on back-to-back nights. And Kastelik, born in Phoenix, he was an Ottawa fifth-round pick in 2019. Had pretty good numbers with the Hitmen in the Western League. 47 goals and 66 games played. Was in Belleville last season in the AHL as the Habs control off the draw. Kastelik gets to the puck, back up top. Bernard Darker. Little head fake, shoots, hits his own player. As Bernard Docker has to retreat with Lehkonen on the move with Yolonen. Yolonen battling below the goal line. Logan Shaw there to help out. Habs control the blue line. Weidman, Jack-Eye, wrist shot, knocked down in front. As Arbor Jack-Eye gets the puck from Poehling. Jack-Eye across. Weidman towards the net, and that was actually Cole Reinhardt. Got his stick on it, put it into the corner. Ottawa controls, and Kastelik is moving in on Weidman. As Kastelik, his teammates changing behind the play. He's 1-on-3, and he'll join them on the bench as Jack-Eye picks it up. As the young man has got a mom from the Czech Republic, and interesting name. He laughs it off the pronunciation. It's one of the tougher ones, but it is Jack-Eye is how you pronounce his last name.
You have to get into the spelling, though. It's Xhekaj. And I'll guarantee you, every play-by-play announcer's wandering down to our booth before the game saying, exactly how do you say this?
His father's Albanian, so he has both Canadian citizenship and Czech Republic citizenship. And you know, his mom would be proud if he ever represented the Czech Republic.
That is a rock star name.
Well, his assistant coach in Kitchener, Dennis Weidman, the former NHLer, calls him Al, after the great Al Arbor. So there you go. Ridley Gregg near boards, gets pinned by Kulak, chipped down the ice. As Dylan Hetherington tried to move it up ice. Ridley Gregg finds it, he'll zip it in. Kulak takes the body check as Reinhardt hits him. Brandon Baddock gets hit by Sherwood. Both men go down. Fairbrother racing after the puck as the defenseman gets taken down as well. Fairbrother tried to release it to the wrong team. It's picked up by Sherwood. Tried to chip it in. I think it hit the linesman, actually, as hit Mark Suchuk. Nick Suzuki the other way, puts on the brakes, looking for help. He'll send it cross ice. Gallagher, one-timer, tipped in front as Gallagher. You watched him, you know what he does. He is a high-volume shooter. He'll let it fly from everywhere. And there was another example, nearly paid off.
Romanov doing his work, too, to get in there. Shot of the Montreal bench, and newly appointed coach Trevor Letowski, Alex Burrows, Dominic Ducharme, and it's just going to be so nice to be able to talk to those guys now, Brian. We've been without having one-on-one face-to-face conversations and a chance to, we haven't really got to know Dom Ducharme as the head coach face-to-face, and that'll be a nice opportunity.
Right off the draw, Anton Forsberg had to be sharp. He was. Came right on him up high. Letowski and Dominic Ducharme winning World Junior Gold together a couple years ago. As Ducharme the head coach, Letowski the assistant, and back together again. Just another example of him putting his stamp on this team, Dominic Ducharme. Suzuki flips it up ice. Aspero. Victor Mente was supposed to play tonight. A little bit banged up, nothing serious. So Aspero, the Quebec native, getting a chance in the lineup. Tierney right in front off the turnover. As Brown sends it across. Brandstrom. Tip scores! The tip in front. As the Ottawa Senators get one, it is 1-0. And it looks like it's Stützle, the youngster, got the last touch.
I think it's Timmy Stützle coming across from his weak side. A good shot from the point from Brandstrom. Gets really good wood on it. It's a high tip and really good traffic in front of the net with Connor Brown as well, taking up some area in the blue paint there. But you can see the high tip. Such an effective play and such a hard play to stop. And I think Brandstrom shooting that puck high slot to try and get that. He also had Chris Tierney filling in underneath. Good heads-up play by Stützle to be in position.
Stützle, nice rookie season, 12 goals, 29 points in 53 games played. The third overall pick.
Brian, those were loud goals too. Some of those were goals that were on every highlight film, and you know, you think of 12 goals, a shortened season, obviously only 56 games, but those were very, very loud goals.
Sports Center Stützle, why not? Young man, pretty exciting player. And still 19 years old, turns 20 January the 15th, still a teenager in the National Hockey League. Look out, Logan Shaw trying to get in. Weidman, though, held him off, and Jack-Eye plays the puck up ice. Here's Paling cutting in. Backhand try, and Lehkonen just a step too late. Couldn't get there in time, and the Sens move it up quickly. As Aberg. Pardon me, that was Greg. Moving it into Montreal territory. Ryan Paling. Playing pass with Ylonen. That line off for a change. Just over 5 minutes remaining in this first period as Aberg absorbs the body check from Bork. Fairbrother. Cross-ice pass right at the half blue line. Kulak looking for Dauphin. As Perreault and Bork go to work skating after Lassie Thompson. He starts to play up ice. As Sokolov, some space at the right side. He shoots. He was looking far side. Agasito, nice setup. And Sokolov, he missed the mark.
Really nice clean breakout end to end for Ottawa. And Sokolov with the final chance.
Kulak for Bork. Dauphin. Able to chip it in. Beaudin. Bernard Docker. Shadowing him. Play into the corner. Back up top. Nice hesitation from Petrie. Sends it across. Beaudin on the backhand. Couldn't get the shot away. Belzile. Also playing on back-to-back nights. And as Belzile had a goal last night in Ottawa. Here's Stützle. Fake shooting it in. Saves a little bit of time for his teammates looking to change, and they will as Josh Brown on the puck. Brown winning a Memorial Cup in Oshawa 2015 with his now head coach, DJ Smith. Sherwood just avoiding the check for Romanov as he had him lined up. I think Romanov caught a lot of players off guard last season in his rookie campaign, not this year. He's a pretty heavy young man.
I think Sherwood was fortunate because Romanov just lost his own balance a little bit before contact, and that probably saved Sherwood a big collision.
Jack-Eye comes away with the puck. He'll circle around. Greg watching him. Suzuki on the puck for the Habs. Suzuki at center ice. He'll just flip the backhand in. Brandstrom picks it up for Ottawa. Back for Brown. Kastelik over his stick. And quickly up to Suzuki. Suzuki wrist shot off a stick high and out of play here at the Bell Center with 3 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in this first period. Brandstrom tees it up, and look at the hands as Stützle gets one here at the Bell Center on this Saturday night as Ottawa leads 1-0. Welcome back to the Bell Center. Brian Mutrick, Dave Poulin with you, John Liu as well. So who you got your eye on tonight? A couple maybe players or jobs up for grabs on each side.
Well, if we start on the Ottawa side, I think Eric Brandstrom's drawn a lot of attention. He was the big piece coming over in the Mark Stone deal, and I think everybody would love him to grab a spot, but it's also almost complicated a little bit when they picked up Victor Mete, because you have two players of similar stature and similar styles. Mete, obviously more of a veteran, so I think there's a lot of eyes on Brandstrom. And Lassie Thompson on the Ottawa side as well, because I think he's been really steady. He's a right shot, that coveted right shot, and he's been very, very steady. Has had a couple of real nice breakout passes tonight.
Ryan Poehling, another young man to keep an eye on. Obviously a center position available for the Montreal Canadiens. Poehling playing on back-to-back nights. Poehling played just over 60 minutes last night as Reinhart, quick release off a stick, out of play. Reinhart, Jack-eye, cross-checking, grabbing each other. They're going to continue to go. There was some rough stuff last night as well. You saw Pezzetta getting involved. Unfortunately, Parker Kelly getting hurt in that hockey game. Sami Niku, a concussion after a hit as well.
That guy's a big guy, 6'3", 210, played for Mike McKenzie's group in Kitchener there with the Rangers, and undrafted. And, you know, so many players would have fallen through the cracks in the last couple of years with the shortened seasons and some, I mean, there were a number of players that didn't even play last year. So there are going to be players that were undrafted or drafted late who have fallen through the cracks, who get an opportunity and maybe develop a little bit differently in their curve, but we're not going to see the norm of what comes out of the last couple of years in where they were drafted.
Jack-eye 6'4", 220 pounds. He's 20 years of age. He's the only guy in the box, so he'll get the cross-checking penalty. Three minutes remaining in this first period as Connor Brown right off the draw drives it in, trying to get around Delphine. J.C. Beaudin, good job to pick it up, and he's on the move. Stützle gets to the puck first. Former DEL Rookie of the Year. Brown gives and goes. He gets taken down by Fairbrother. Side of the net, puck available, chipped into the corner. Beaudin gets to it. He'll slap it down the ice for Montreal. One of the big storylines in the playoff run. Wonderful penalty killing by the Montreal Canadiens, around 91%. They were #1 in the NHL in the playoffs. Suzuki in the corner, trying to flip it around the boards. Kulak battling for the puck, as is Stützle. He'll get it to Connor Brown. Quickly up top. Brandstrom. Back to Brown. He'll work it down low. Sokolov. One-time shot as Tierney loaded up and missed. And it's along the boards and pops out of the zone. Here comes Suzuki shorthanded. Suzuki drives it himself. Getting watched by Brandstrom. Good job by Suzuki killing off some more time. It's funny, after the North Division, it seemed these teams played a lot. There's a big collision. Romanov hitting Gregg. They'll play 4 times in the regular season, and they won't even hook up for a while. February 26th, their first regular season game.
After seeing each other so often last year, they're not going to know what that is.
No kidding, right? That was fun. It was a one-off year, the All-Canadian Division. It was fun. I'm sure the players kind of got sick of it by the 8th meeting. But in that COVID situation, it was just great to have hockey and a distraction for fans and something to watch as we're to the final minute of the Bell Center. It is a 1-0 Ottawa advantage and a goal by Tim Stützle. Mark Kastelik gets a stick on it. He chases after the puck. Flip cross ice for Brendan Gallagher. Gallagher lost it. Kastelik hit by Belzile. Reinhart and Perreault, they're both tangled up and doing a waltz at center ice. Puck to Gallagher, and he'll fire it in. Forsberg quickly to Bernard Docker. One-timer, Kulak just missing wide. He just loaded up, let it fly, and just missed. Gallagher at the blue line. His turn. He shoots, glove in and out. Rebound was available, but Ottawa able to clear. Just a few seconds remaining in this first period. Maybe one last push for Kulak. He'll flip it in deep. As Dylan Hetherington is on it. Down the ice, and that should do it for this opening 20. Shots 8-5 in favor of Montreal, and 1 goal from Stützle.
Yeah, pretty evenly played period. Montreal off to that good start. And we see the big hit by Romanov coming across on Ridley Gregg there, saying, Mr. Gregg, you better keep your head up here. But real good energy by Montreal early on the power play, and then I thought Ottawa battled back nicely.
Your intermission is coming up as Tessa, Cheryl, Pierre, and John are standing by, and they got you covered next.
In Montreal, Tim Stützle puts the Sens ahead by 1 with that nifty little high slot deflection. As we welcome you back inside studio, hello everyone. I'm Tessa Bonham alongside Cheryl Pounder and Pierre Lebrun. Pierre, we're going to start with you and this cross-checking rule that we all know is going to take some time for definitely Cheryl to get used to.
I would be out of the game.
But also for a lot of the defensemen. And then I had talked before about being a smaller defenseman, how useful it is to be able to use that. But for defensemen in particular, it's something that you need to start to get used to by using your feet as opposed to your stick.
It's really one of the things that I've been watching in preseason because, well, a lot of the other parts of preseason are not that exciting to me. But this is players trying to adjust on the fly to a major crackdown that the NHL announced before the season. And on this particular play, you got your top pairing for the Montreal Canadiens, Jeff Petrie and Alexander Romanov, essentially standing there not quite knowing what to do with Connor Brown. Now, I'm not saying that that play could not have happened a year ago, but I have a feeling that one of them might have been cross-checking Connor Brown to get out of the way. And so it'll be interesting to me, and you know, these players are so smart, they will adjust how they use body positioning and find a different way to move that player away from the crease. Right there, there was nothing going on there. Connor Brown was sitting in his office and had the perfect screen.
Sometimes you're just so wired one way, right, that all of a sudden you're caught thinking instead of doing out there. Speaking of thinking instead of doing, Cheryl, off the top, you were talking about Josh Brown, big defenseman for the Sens, and sometimes when you're looking to make a big impact, it's best to follow the KISS rule, where you just keep it simple, stupid. How has he been doing?
I was just going to ask you, what does that mean?
Your dad never said that to you?
No, he didn't actually.
Okay, well, thanks, Doug.
No, when you think about Josh Brown, you think about a guy that doesn't always get recognized. And that happens in the game when you're a defenseman and you're quiet. And what I mean by quiet is you do the little things well. You block shots on the PK. You get good stick positioning. These are details that make a huge difference in a game. And of course, good gap, the ability to transition the puck for a big man, 6'5", to pull it back, to be able to open up space, keeping it in at the line, a quick over to Brandstrom, and it leads to that goal by Stützle. So the finer details of his game that have made an impact.
And as far as Senators' backup goaltending goes, Anton Forsberg expected to be the backup, is he not, Pierre?
He is, and I think we've all assumed that it's what makes the most sense. A, because he's the more veteran player. You know, Philip Gustafsson, who was terrific last year for the Senators, is the 23-year-old. Forsberg is a 28-year-old. Forsberg would require waivers. Gustafsson is waivers exempt. Gustafsson, it'd make more sense for him to play a bunch of AHL games and not sit on the bench. But when I inquired about whether this was a done deal, the response I got today was the Senators are going to keep the best two goalies. And so, again, I still think it ends up being Forsberg backing up Matt Murray, but I think it's the kind of response that is emblematic of the Senators in general during this camp, which is they want to get off to such a better start than the nightmare that they had a year ago in the first 15 games. And there's a bit of a meritocracy happening here, including in goal.
Or just continue on their fantastic finish, however way you want to look at it. All right, we're going to head down now to Mark Deneau standing by with Chris Weidman.
Chris Weidman, a sure way to feel like you're in a battle at training camp is playing in the back-to-back situation. How do you feel after the first period of the back end of this one?
It's good. I think the boys have a little bit more energy than last night, so it's been a fun game to be a part of, and I'm looking forward to the second and third.
Coming back to North America after a very successful season in the KHL there, what type of impression are you trying to leave here in this training camp to make your way and to be part of the opening night roster?
You know, just try to show my best every day. You know, maximum effort, maximum focus, and you know, be a good guy in the dressing room. So it's been a fun experience so far, and you know, I've really enjoyed it.
All right, and all the best in trying to make the best of us. Chris Weidman, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we come back. John Liu will Toronto to take on the Argos. Live coverage gets underway at 7 Eastern, 8 Atlantic, only on TSN. All right, let's head to John Liu.
Thank you, Tessa. According to DJ Smith, tonight will go a long way in determining which bubble players will stick around after tomorrow's cuts. In the case of Ridley Gregg, it's either make it or go back to junior, even though the Senators would prefer to see him playing in the AHL. Last week in Winnipeg, Gregg opened up his entire toolbox, scoring a highlight reel goal, but crossing the line when he cross-checked Pierre-Luc Dubois in the jaw, drawing himself a one-game suspension. That feisty, tenacious style would cast Gregg as an ideal fourth-line center, so tonight is a critical opportunity for him to continue building his case to stay.
As we welcome you back inside studio, Tessa, Cheryl, Pierre with you. I mean, highlight reel goal. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Nice to see. But fortunately, it was a little bit overshadowed by that unfortunate play. What are you expecting to see from the Senators with a young, talented player like this, Cheryl?
Well, he's so offensively gifted. I mean, there is no question that he is going to find his way to the NHL. But I'm not sure, you know, the Senators have the ability to send him back, of course, to junior. He's so gifted. And look at that goal. I mean, it's a highlight reel goal. And this guy also plays with an edge. But do they want to have a 20-year-old in Shane Pinto and a 19-year-old in Ridley Gregg in the center position? And I just don't think it's his time at the moment.
Yeah, I'm with you. And, you know, traditionally the Senators have taken their time with their prospects. They've been very good at letting their players marinate and await their path. And in this particular case, I think they want them to go to World Juniors potentially this year and go back to Brandon. And, you know, the one thing I would say is he seems like the kind of player where this is where a lot of GMs would like to change that rule where junior eligible players perhaps can play AHL hockey.
Yes,
not
absolutely.
junior, not ready for NHL, but right in between. And that's been a topic of conversation for many years. It's a CBA issue, but at this point, not an option.
Alrighty, well, one period in the books between these two teams. One goal was scored between these two teams. 20 minutes in the second of a back-to-back. We'll have more on that first period of play when we come back after this. So look at what took place in that first period. In case you missed it, Tim Stützle with a nice high redirect, scoring the first and only goal of that period as the Canadiens outshoot the Sens 8-5. With more, let's head to Brian Mudryk and Dave Poulin.
So when you look at the center position of the Montreal Canadiens, obviously you think Suzuki, Dvorak, Evans, and then maybe a spot up for grabs. And we're watching the veteran Perreault tonight. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife type of player, and we've seen some looks possibly with him and Brendan Gallagher.
Well, I'm going to combine a couple of things because we talked about Gallagher where he might play, and he reintroduced himself to his teammates with a great back check early on that just said, hey, here's what I'm all about. But there were a couple of instances late in the period, by happenstance or not, where Perreault and Gallagher were on the ice together, and I think could be very, very effective. You think of the speed, you think of the tenacity. And Perreault, there had to be a selling feature to bring him to Montreal as a free agent. And it could have very well been, hey, we may have a position now with Philippe Danault gone that we need someone to play with Brendan Gallagher, and you may be that guy. And that could be very, very attractive for a free agent. Matthew Perreault was so versatile in Winnipeg, playing all three forward positions. Center may be where he ends up here.
And you look at Perreault and Dvorak in their NHL careers, both over 50% in that face-off circle. Obviously critical for this team.
Thank you, gentlemen. Here's a look at what's going on around the league over on TSN 3. Jets Oilers first period. Jets steal the puck at the half wall. Kyle Connor is going to bury shorthanded. Connor led the Jets in goals last season. That made it 1-0 Jets. This one currently tied at 1s at the end of the first. Caps Flyers first period. It's 1-0 Caps. Flyers with the power play. Claude Giroux gets a hold of that one-timer. There's a power play marker for you. Philadelphia's power play, by the way, sat in 17th last season, which is tied with the Habs. That ties things up at 1s. Rangers, Bruins, 5 minutes in, already 1-1. Mike Riley drops it to Patrice Bergeron. He beats Alexander Georgiev. Bergeron already with an assist in the period. He had 23 goals in 54 games last season. It's 2-1 Bruins. After that goal, it's currently 3-2 Boston. Scoring for Boston as well, by the way, Pastrnak, Bergeron, Marchand. We're probably going to be hearing a lot of those names. And tying it up for the Oilers was Puljujarvi on the power play. All right, we're going to have second period puck drop for you when we come back.
And welcome back to the Bell Center as Marc Bergevin looking on. And his head coach, Dominic Ducharme, down one after 20 minutes of play. And you wanted to chat about Alexander Romanov, a young man, had his rookie debut. He had a goal in the regular season, a goal in 4 playoff games, so 2 NHL goals in his young career. What are you hoping to see him improve on, taking that next step this season here, Dave?
Exactly what he did late in the period when he took a run at Ridley Gray. That big collision. And I want the other players that are on the ice playing against him to know that they have to be aware where he is. And I think he played with that edge early, and maybe it got taken away from him a little bit just because of the pressure of the, transfer to playing in the NHL. But when he's at his best, he has to be dangerous and unpredictable, Brian. I don't want a predictable player wearing number 27. I simply want that little bit of an edge. And I think playing with Jeff Petrie tonight, he's showing more of how he can be most effective.
Here's Brendan Gallagher, some speed to the left side for Toffoli. Suzuki picks it up, shoots, that's blocked. Petrie, wraparound drive, and he scores! I thought he scored. I thought the official pointed to the net. The crowd responded. Forsberg without a stick. I thought I saw the initial point for good goal, and then you heard the fans of Stützle bringing it the other way. Tried that drag move. That was broken up. Weird sequence to start this second period as Toffoli will flip it in.
I wouldn't be surprised to be hearing a horn at some point here and calling it back, but...
Well, it is the preseason. Everyone might be a bit rusty, but we'll get another look here to see if that was actually it.
Sharp passing sets this up. Toffoli hits Suzuki in the slot, and it's the initial shot is blocked, but watch Jeff Petrie wrap it around. I don't know how that puck stayed out. I think it got caught underneath his pad. It's caught underneath his left pad. So not the pad coming across, it's the left skate of Forsberg that took that puck out of the way, just the way he was swinging.
Reinhardt looking for Sabrin. So Jeff Petrie, pretty nice wraparound try. As the Ottawa Senators a 1-0 advantage. Arturi Lehkonen pokes it up the left side, controlled by Ottawa. Off the boards quickly for Greg. Brett Kulak will collect the puck in his own zone, using the boards, gets it to Fairbrother. Ylonen, the one touch to Ryan Poehling for Lehkonen. He'll swipe it in deep. Poehling lets it go. Ylonen picks it up. Yes, Ylonen. Met by Lassie Thompson. Puck is popped free and Ottawa able to control. Dylan Hetherington gets it in deep for the Ottawa Senators. Primo, the one touch to Kulak. Perreault couldn't accept the passes. Perreault got in his way. Given right to Laurent Dauphin. Towards the net, he missed the mark. Sokolov spins, looking for a target. It was Aberg behind him. Aberg gets another try and then hit by Perreault. Agazino spinning around. As Agazino playing on back-to-back nights as well. Sokolov up top, long shot. Hit a leg and all the way down to Ottawa territory, and racing it was Dauphin, and alertly Forsberg came out of his net and played the puck. Bork shoots it right back in. Forsberg doing a good job tonight, activating out of his net, playing the puck up to his defenseman. Belzile, a little bit of space, hesitates with the fake. And Sokolov tied him up enough from behind, then gives him the shove. Belzile's lost his stick. It's up for Romanov. Big shot through traffic as he loaded up right on, and Anton Forsberg with a nice save.
A couple of guys eyeing each other there, Kaslik and Baddock. After that shot, a good shot by Romanov on that side, coming across on his off wing, stepping into that.
And a look at the starter tonight. You saw Michael McNiven as the backup tonight on the bench as Caden Primo. A 1-1 record in 2 starts for the Habs last season. Really nice numbers in Laval, 17-11-3. 245 goals against the average. As Jack-Eye putting his teammates offside, they got to come check up as the puck had just popped free, allowing Eric Brandstrom to skate it up ice. Look to drop it off for Sherwood. Brown shoots, missing the mark. Flipped up high right at center ice at the Habs logo. Brandon Baddock picks it up. Baddock puts on the brakes. Belzile using the backboards, up for Petrie. As Baudin trying to keep the play alive, unsuccessful, allowing Ottawa to change, and Montreal has to retreat. Jeff Petrie, he'll start it up ice one more time. 4 consecutive seasons of 40 or more points. He's on the move with Suzuki, and Petrie so close to scoring in the opening minute on the wrap drop. Suzuki setting up shot behind the net. Up for Petrie. Romanov, one-timer, deflected high. And out of play as some of the players looking for where that puck went. It is out of play, off a stick and up high behind Anton Forsberg.
Jeff Petrie so comfortable coming up the ice, and a little give and go with Suzuki, and almost connects going to the net for his second great scoring chance in the first couple of minutes. But the pressure's back on him as it was a couple years ago when Shea Weber missed most of the season, and Jeff Petrie elevated his game to a whole new level. And I would fully expect, you know, he sat in the #1 seed, he sat in the #2 seat in that right D position, and his game has just continued to grow.
Good face-off win. Suzuki on Tierney. Habs control. Petrie shoots. Kick stop. Forsberg. Great reactions in the net to Foley. Trying to sling it across. Connor Brown picks it off. He's on the move with Stützle. Maybe a 2-on-1. Brown goes wide and Romanov gets back. However, hooking the call is his speed, drawing a penalty, in Ottawa going back on the power play. As Petrie to the box.
Montreal number 26, Montreal Home.
But the special teams work for Ottawa here.
And you see the stick on the hands, no doubter.
Oh, that's an automatic one. Eric Brandstrom again with the opportunity to run. He's looked pretty sharp at the point on a couple of opportunities.
Brandstrom able to hold it at the line. Stutzla couldn't control it. Fairbrother looking to move it around Sokolov. Lekkinen in pursuit. Brandstrom though on the puck for Stutzla. Near circle, Stutzla. Back up for Brandstrom. Connor Brown shoots, and Primo couldn't find it. It was in his pads behind him, and it was Sokolov going fishing, but play whistle down.
Big body of Caden Primo coming over, and Connor Brown shooting off his strong side, not his one-time side. So he's got to turn and tee it up and giving lots of time. Big body of Sokolov in front of the net there. Sokolov had a really good rookie camp and then has fallen off a little bit, although he did score last night. He's a good player you seem to notice when he's out there. He's always involved in something.
10 points in 11 games of the World Juniors for Russia a couple years ago. Stutzla. There's Bork, gets to the puck. Flips the backhand to neutral ice. Good job as Dauphin killing off some more time. Shorthanded up for Kulak. He'll blast it in. It's right on Forsberg. Both these goalies tonight drafted in the 7th round. You just never know when you'll get a diamond in the rough. And both teams hoping they have their respective diamonds in both these young goaltenders. Here's Tyler Toffoli. Skating up ice. Toffoli. Suzuki just hopped over his stick as you can hear the crowd buzzing. 7,500 allowed in the building for preseason action. Back to 21,000 for the regular season. Suzuki leaves for Lekkinen. Wrist shot hits Suzuki, who's driving towards the net. Sherwood picks it up for Ottawa.
Well, those two have combined for some pretty big goals already in their time together, and so effective. And it looked like Suzuki was already trying to get back to Toffoli on the give and go.
Wrist shot hit Beaudin as Lassie Thompson loaded up for the blue line. Thompson back on the puck. Sherwood at neutral ice, he'll dump it in. Another body check from Romanov. You might have heard you, Dave, because he continues to be physical, not like we're surprised.
Same body he was hitting there too in Ridley Gregg.
Here comes Beaudin, seeking it. Beaudin shoots it just wide as Petrie set him up, and that close as J.C. Beaudin nearly sniped versus his former team. Matthew Perreault, who was swept in 4 games in the playoffs with the Jets by the Montreal Canadiens, and now wearing the Habs colors. There's a turnover right to Gallagher. He'll skate it in. Around Aspero, centering pass, broken up. That's a good stick in the way by Lassie Thompson. As Kastelik brought it in, and the backhand putting Sabrin and the Ottawa Senators offside. As the shots, 12-6. Head coach Dominic Ducharme has a new assistant coach in Trevor Letowski. Letowski over 600 NHL regular season games. Actually played with Luke Richardson in Columbus as well, and they teamed up together, Ducharme, Letowski, and that was a gold medal at the World Juniors back in 2018 for Team Canada, and they are now reunited behind the bench here in Montreal. A nice little pickup.
Every opportunity you have to rub shoulders with the elite in this league could lead to opportunities. And I know when they go over to the World Championships, there's more time. There's more time to get to know people and a different, style of hockey and a different type of format. And you see a lot of long-term relationships that start at those World Championships.
Jesse Ulonen up the right side for Montreal. So obviously not the shootout that we had last night, the 7-2 win for the Ottawa Senators. What do you make of play so far here tonight? Always tough too, not only preseason, but a back-to-back. A few of the players getting back-to-back action.
Yeah, it really is. I would expect it'll shape up for what they want to do with their rosters for next week. So they look at these games and they have 6 or 7 exhibition games and they try and build rosters, give opportunities. But now over the next week, we will see the lineup start to set. And then sometimes the last game, Brian, they don't dress anybody. They bring players back up from the minors and, use a very shallow lineup in the last game. So we'll see. A lot of it is dependent on the curve of what your growth is as a team.
Brandstrom losing the puck to Weidman. He'll stick handle, get it to Paling. Ulonen back for Paling. Ulonen steps in. What a move, little backhand. Nice hands for the youngster. He got it in on Anton Forsberg. Jeff Petrie at the line, takes a look, looking for Toffoli. Reinhart meets Petrie. Gallagher dumps it back in. Josh Brown picks it up for Ottawa. He'll flip it up high down the ice, and Petrie will collect it. Petrie for Gallagher, looking for Suzuki. Agazino got a stick on it. Forsberg looks to play it, knocked down by Suzuki off the back of the net. As Belzile collects it far boards. Alex Belzile, and he gave that away, and that could be trouble. As Logan Shaw streaking in, taken down by Romanov, and way out of the net was Primo, and he played it out of harm's way in time. Maybe a 2-on-2 the other way. Romanov jumping into the play. Waits for help. Suzuki slapped that shot and didn't get a good shot away, and he missed wide. Petrie accepts the pass. Waiting right in front. Tip shot. Rebound. Bannock trying to get it there. Romanov there as well. Pretty good look from Montreal. Can't convert yet. Petrie shoots. Missing glove side. And as that pass across tipped, intended for Belzile, it was Aberg getting it away. Here's Baudin with Belzile going to the net, and through him and Fairbrother, the defenseman, also streaking in for the Habs. Brandon Baddock. The give and go towards the net. As plays whistle down.
Jeff Petrie's had a really good offensive period, set up a couple of nice plays. This one to his partner coming across, and Romanov jumping up on the play, but it's a seeing eye shot, and Big Baddock was going through. Petrie with the pass. He skated very, very well this period.
And you can expect big-time minutes from Petrie. The loss of Shea Weber, we've talked about it a few times in the preseason. It's not just his minutes in the slap shot and the penalty killing. It's the leadership that, the fans and the media don't see in the room, behind the scenes, and what he's instilled on the players. And he is just such a big piece missing for Montreal. Here's Sokolov. Trying to go wide on Kulak. Kulak stays with him. Puck to Perreault. Dauphin takes the check from Thompson. Craig in the vicinity, tries to play the puck all the way across the ice. As Bork chips it in, Thompson. Crafty little play, gets into Sherwood, and he uses the boards, and down the ice it goes. Sokolov trying to get there first again. It's Kulak using his speed, he cuts him off. Kulak, Dauphin. At the blue line, he'll dump it in with a backhand. Here comes Arturi Lehkonen. Dauphin up to the point. Petrie looking for Romanov. Couldn't handle it smoothly. Had to retreat. He'll fire it back in. Brandstrom setting up behind his goalie. As we expect Forsberg and Primo, both goalies, to go the distance in tonight's game. Nice for Sens fans to see Matt Murray have a really strong outing last night. He was solid in that victory. Josh Brown below the goal line, centering pass. Connor Brown trying to tee it up. That shot, and Brandstrom right on. Primo kicked it aside. Nice save. Tierney looked to center. Had Stützle in front, off the back of the net, all the way up to the point. Connor Brown. He'll dish off. Stützle walking in, looked to feather the pass, cross ice. Brandstrom was pinching in. Nobody home, though. And he's got to hustle back. Yolonen saw some runway and tried to get in there first, could not. Pretty good wheels on both sides here, the young talent.
Yeah, there's been some great puck movement as well this period by Montreal specifically. Really good puck movement that led to chances.
As Stützle got upended right at the blue line. That was Jack Guy lining him up and taking him down.
Jack Guy's been noticeable.
Aspro hit by Suzuki, able to shoot it in. Sabrin. Greg spinning away, still with a puck. Aspro moves it across. Greg back into the play as Bernard Docker shot it in. Collected and cleaned up, and here comes Nick Suzuki with Toffoli. Toffoli was pushed, though, offside, and that's why you hear the boos.
You're going to get a penalty here for interference.
Montreal Canadiens to the man advantage when we come back to the Bell Center. Ottawa leads 1-0.
What kind of
Sitting in the box, and they've got shown a little veteran trick here by Tyler Toffoli. You can see Reinhart working hard, the Brandon Wheat Kings veteran coming back, and as soon as Toffoli feels Reinhart on his shoulder, he's at the blue line, he goes down. So now you've pushed me offside, but you've also interfered with me. So I think Reinhart would be shaking his head going back to the box saying, I didn't hit him that hard, and Toffoli would be saying, no, you didn't hit me that hard. That's just a veteran move by Toffoli to draw that penalty.
So another chance as we look at Petrie Kulak on the bench discussing things. It'll be Weidman quarterbacking the power play. Paling wins the draw, gets it back to Weidman. Paling for Belzile. Along the wall, Arturi Lehkonen back up for Weidman. As Paling sets up right in front. Yolonen gets the pass back. Yolonen using the boards back for Weidman. He waits, shoots, knocked down in front, didn't get through. Lehkonen holds the zone. Belzile. Ryan Paling leaves for Belzile. Yolonen. Weidman at the blue line. For Arturi Lehkonen, he waits, shoots off a stick high and off the back glass. Yolonen, Belzile. Tierney getting in his way. Yolonen gets to the puck again. The backhand along the boards. Good possession. Not a lot of shots yet on Forsberg. Weidman, Yolonen waiting. He shoots, and there's a good look up high. Bouncing right in the slot as Forsberg got in the way. Weidman again. One-time shot. Yolonen loaded up and missed. Lehkonen. Belzile. Paling tries again. Centering pass. Yolonen picks up the puck. There's Lehkonen. One-time shot. Weidman knocked down. Belzile, a cross shot, and that's why Yolonen wide open net, and he missed. I mean, a yawning cage up top, and the young man couldn't convert.
Excellent puck possession and opportunities by Montreal.
And the penalty killers were gassed, led by Connor Brown as they're off. Suzuki on the puck for Toffoli. Cross ice, Suzuki's got to hustle to get there in the corner, and he does. Josh Brown to the puck first with his head up, trying to clear. Can't give it away. What a goal! Welcome back, Brendan Gallagher. Power play goal off the turnover, and it's a 1-1 hockey game.
Too much time for Josh Brown there. He had so much time. He waited, got his body around, said, I'm going to make sure this one, and picked the wrong lane to try and go. Gallagher picked it right out of the air, put it down, and hammered it on the shelf. Pass Anton Forsberg. Watch how much time Brown has. He shakes Gallagher, so he comes back to his forehand and then snaps his stick in half. Watch the stick just crumble. And the puck ends up right on Brandon Gallagher's tape. Short side shelf. There you go. Gallagher was as surprised as anyone, but no hesitation. What a shot, what a finish. That first power play unit for Montreal, though, with Arturi Lehkonen, we've never seen on the power play, Brian. And up top with Chris Weidman, who's done a really nice job of running the second unit, but they had 5 or 6 opportunities. And of course, the first unit comes out, gets one chance, and puts it home.
Looks like Joel Armia for years, though, in Winnipeg, right? And then found his game here in Montreal, getting an opportunity in all facets as a turnover. Baudin looking for more. Ridley Gregg in stride. Picked it up at the blue line, was pushed off the puck. It's back to Kulak. It's funny, last year, Tyler Toffoli led the halves in shots on goal. That's usually Brendan Gallagher territory every season. And, you know, he'll be back firing at will. And that was a nice pickoff to get his first goal in his first game of the preseason.
No hesitation there.
Big hit, Baudin. As Maddox on the puck, Sherwood slow to get up and get his stick. Habs control the puck in the offensive zone. Petrie blocking one-timer. Kulak, big rebound as the two defensemen setting things up. Dauphin hustles and keeps it in. Dylan Hetherington finally picks it up as Heathering Dauphin actually won a gold medal for Canada way back in 2013 at the under-18s with Connor McDavid. Canada yet to win a gold in that tournament until this year. And where am I going with this? Well, it was Shane Wright, the captain, leading the way. He's the projected #1 pick for the upcoming draft this summer, and that draft at the Bell Center in early July. So exciting that we'll have a live draft again in the National Hockey League. And Shane Wright is a player. I got to call that tournament. He is an outstanding talent. As is Connor Bedard, by the way, who is, 15 years of age, and lit up that tournament as well.
Is some talent working there. I had an opportunity to work on that as well, and boy, there's some amazing the poise of some of the young players that are on their way.
Yeah, Matvei Michkov, Connor Bedard, 2 young stars coming up. In the meantime, yeah, Josh Brown wants this back right on the tape. Number 11 says thank you. Brendan Gallagher up top, and it's a 1-1 hockey game. There's always something new on Crave. Catch the latest groundbreaking series you won't find anywhere else this October, only on Crave. And check it all out on crave.ca. I am craving fans back in the building at full capacity as the health authority here in Laval-Provence saying good to go for the regular season. It's been nice, Dave, to just see people again, people in the media, broadcasters, as that shot's right on off the face-off and handled.
So strange. When we were doing games in the building alone, it was one thing, but to walk home from the Bell Center in downtown Montreal at 9:30 at night and not encounter one single person was very eerie.
It's going to be awesome as Sokolov shoots, gets to try again. Ottawa controlling, centering pass. Sokolov able to pick it up, zipped up top. Aspero, great shot tip, just wide rebound as Agazino buzzing. Back up for Aspero. Looking for the backdoor pass. Aber couldn't get it on net, and Bernard Docker has to backpedal for the Ottawa Senators. Aspero looking for Sokolov. Jack-Eye protects the puck. He is a big guy out there. He can protect the puck with his frame as Aspero throws it far corner. Aspero again at the blue line. Delayed penalty coming up against the Montreal Canadiens. Jack-Eye will touch up, and the Ottawa Senators back on the power play.
That'll be Jack-Eye going to the box for a slash in front of the net. I like his physical play. You talked about his puck protection on that. That's just a really veteran move to go back and pick up a puck at full speed and be able to protect it and
Montreal
then make a little play.
Number 63, 2 minutes, high stick.
To your partner, Garrett Rank on the call. You can see in front of the net here, it's just, oh, he gets the stick right up underneath Agazino's helmet accidentally, but carrying the stick high and gets up underneath the visor. No damage done to the face of Agazino.
So now the youngster Brandstrom's turn again to run the power play. You see Greg, Tierney, Stutzla out there with Connor Brown. As Brown is back for Ottawa. And Brandstrom will try tee things up here under 4 minutes to go in this second period. Stutzla and Gallagher here goal scorers in this exhibition game tonight. Brandstrom at the blue line, able to chip it across for Tierney. Back for Brandstrom. Stutzla. Brandstrom in too much heat on the pass, and yeah, Stutzla was looking up, frustrated at himself for the errant pass.
A nice ask of Ridley Gregg to sit in the middle of the bumper position on this power play with 4 returning players.
Good forecheck by Lehkonen. Montreal Canadiens led the NHL in shorthanded goals last season. Connor Brown himself had 5. Brown himself had more shorthanded goals than 17 teams in the National Hockey League last season.
A man after my own heart, Muddy.
You're one of the best, still top 10 all time, Dave Poulin. Shorthanded goals, you did it for a living, literally, and you were great at it. As Stutzla, Brandstrom back to Stutzla, walks in, weak shot, kick save Primo. Back up to Brandstrom. He'll send it across, Connor Brown, backdoor Stutzla shoots, nice play, but handled by Primo. And knocked down by a high stick. So
Not
play
an easy
whistle
game
down
for Caden Primo tonight. You know, only 10 shots on net right now for the Ottawa Senators, but they've had some excellent opportunities. It's a seam pass from Connor Brown over to Stutzla. Strong push from left to right, stays up. He's a big guy, 6'2". Caden Primo, and you know, he's just got to bide his time, Brian. It might be in, you know, another year, another 2 years before things open up for an opportunity to play. He's just got to continue to get better.
Lassie Thompson, one-timer high off the glass. Romanov can't clear, but that's given away right to Bork, and he'll chip it down the ice. 20 seconds left in the man advantage, and the penalty to Jack-Eye. As the two Senators collide, and Sokolov got tied up, able to get the puck back in the slot, though. Tough collision. But Ottawa's on the move. Thompson drops. Agazino shoots. Nice stop. Rebound. Agazino follows up. Still loose behind Caden Primo. He's out of his crease. Can't find the puck. Finally, he sits on it. And that was 2 collisions of Ottawa Senator players, both in the defensive end and then going forward on offense as well. I guess that's the preseason. You're just getting the cobwebs out, I
Great
suppose.
stand up by Jeff Petrie, just lights up here. Boom, right after Lassie Thompson delivers that pass, he goes down. He drops the puck, and there's Petrie coming across and leads to a good scoring opportunity. A couple chances in tight, but Petrie showing the whole menu here in the second period. A wraparound, a couple of good shots, a couple of good passes, a good hit.
So Ottawa 0 for 4 on the power play tonight, 6 shots on net. Yeah, some good physical play, some big hits. Petrie delivering, Romanov delivering. Hetherington, the slap pass, looking for his man in front, Kostelic, and he nearly clicked with the backhand, just put it wide.
I've liked Primo's game tonight. He's been ready the whole time, and as I said, he hasn't been tested a lot. Actually, not shots on net. But the ones he's had, he's been sharp on. Very attentive.
It just depends, too, on Carey Price, his injury, his timeline. In coming back, you know Jake Allen can obviously carry the load. He proved it last season, but there may be that opportunity for Caden Primo to be a backup early in the season, depending on the health of their franchise goalie. Here's Paling. Final minute, Bell Center, second period, as Ryan Paling up the right side in a 1-1 game. Sabrin able to come back, collects the puck. Lehkonen doing what he does, always on the forecheck, looking to pick off pucks.
Wait a second, he's a power play guy now, Brian.
Well, that's true.
Nice little perk for him tonight to get a little power play time.
It's funny, too, the roles like Jake Evans saw a lot of power play time. He'll be definitely on the kill a lot. With Philip Dano, obviously now with the Los Angeles Kings.
You know, these guys all played on the power play at some point in their life. If you're in the NHL, there's a pretty good chance at some point in your development stage you were a power play guy.
Tierney, Kulak in the corner. As Brendan Baddock trying to keep the puck out of the crease. Caden Primo finds it, and he'll cover with 9 seconds remaining in this second period. Interesting stat for the Ottawa Senators. So they were 6-4 in game 1s of back-to-backs, 0-8-2 in the second game of back-to-backs last season. This is the preseason, obviously doesn't matter.
But it's a small detail you'd mention in the locker room before the game. You know, it's something that you're going to get better at. And DJ Smith knows, you know, however many of these guys are in his regular lineup, that would be a point you would mention.
Tierney, Suzuki line up to take the draw. Pop free right to Connor Brown, a stick tied up. Josh Brown sends it across, late shot. As time will run down, one shot right at the horn. And that will do it. As Aspero was looking to click, but that man right there, the veteran, he's back. Brendan Gallagher in his first preseason game has a goal, and he's tied it up at 1. 20 minutes remaining in this preseason contest. Obviously, cuts are coming, but we're not cutting this panel. They're way too good. Tessa, Cheryl, Pierre, John coming up next.
busted stick. Brendan Gallagher going bar down. Tied the game up at once. As we welcome you back inside studio, Tessa, Cheryl, and Pierre with you. And Cheryl, that's right where we're going to start, is that game-tying goal by Brendan Gallagher, the vet, back in the lineup, albeit with two different line mates, a couple buddies that he doesn't usually play with, but nonetheless, a great goal.
Yeah, no more Tatar and Deneau, but it is a great goal, and it comes on the power play. And of course, Josh Brown wants this one back, blows up his stick below the goal line as he tries to get it 200 feet down. Who is there but the veteran, the energy plug, who is able to get it off his stick very quickly and over the shoulder of Anton Forsberg. So, tie game.
Yeah, and you mentioned that Philip Deneau and Thomas Tatar, absolute staples beside Brendan Gallagher the last 3+ years, are gone. And, you know, this will be a fascinating experiment for Dominique Ducharme. I mean, if you believe in preseason and camp so far, when Caulfield is going to be healthy, I think he'll be back with Suzuki. We've seen Josh Anderson with Dvorak. That kind of leaves Gallagher possibly, of course, with a bigger role for Jake Evans. Now, tonight, Gallagher's playing on the big line, but when everyone's back and it's actual real hockey, when the regular season begins, I could see that for Brendan Gallagher playing with Jake Evans. And that's not a demotion. I mean, the way the Habs dole out their top 9 is different than a lot of teams in terms of the minutes being pretty even in that top 9. But that can change. What happens opening night doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the same 2 weeks later.
Real hockey, fake hockey, it's two different things, the preseason and regular season,
Real
which
fans.
it definitely is. You talked about Alex Romanov off the beginning, Pierre, of the show. What do you like that you've seen about him so far in this game, if anything?
Well, he's not shy, and we knew that from his rookie season.
Yeah.
He's throwing his body around again tonight. And again, like I said in the pregame, this is such a huge year for him, for Alexander Romanov. I mean, it must have crushed his soul to be left behind in the playoffs. The trust lacking from the coaching staff to put him in that most nights in that playoff run. Tonight, with the big hit on Ridley Gregg, you know, joining the attack. And I love this. He's in on the zone entry, but then sticks around and actually gets a scoring chance. He's had a look on the second power play unit tonight. Don't know if that's going to stick during the regular season, especially since they brought in Chris Weidman, but this is a guy that will answer a lot of questions for the Montreal Canadiens with Shea Weber gone, in the sense that they need more than 4 guys. You can't just have 4 defensemen all year in an 82-game season. You're not going to have players left. Can he gain the trust? Can he gain the minutes? Can he become a second pairing guy? They better hope so. I think he can. I think he's on that path. Yeah. But after what happened in the playoffs, obviously he has to regain his confidence.
You know what I love is the fact that, like, he brings back the hip check. I'm a huge fan of the hip check. And man, can he throw it. Leading the team, by the way, in ice time so far with 13:34. Last but not least, Lassie Thompson, 19th overall pick back in 2019 for the Ottawa Senators. He's been catching your eye, Cheryl, during this game so far.
Well, he has, and he's been one of those players who is looking to get some NHL experience. He played 35 games with Belleville last year, and you can bet that he may see some time throughout the season. He does a good job of breaking up plays. He's good in the neutral zone. Look at this. He just recognizes in behind, little chip, and that sends an offensive attack. And of course, he's leading the cross and drop, and Petrie saying, "Oh, welcome here, there, boy, to the NHL." But you know, Lassie Thompson, he's had a good camp, and he's shown a lot of good things.
Absolutely. John Lu's going to be joining us after this break yet again. We love having John Lu on our broadcast. He's going to touch a little bit on Jonathan Drouin, his return, and an award he recently won. Stick around. Well, TSN hockey preseason coverage continues Thursday as the Sens and Habs face off yet again. The puck drops at 7 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Atlantic on TSN 5 in the Sens region and on TSN Radio 1200. All right, let's head to John Liu with more on Jonathan Drouin.
Thank you, Tessa. This morning, the Canadiens announced that Jonathan Drouin has won the team's Jean Beliveau Trophy for the 2020-21 season in recognition for his community leadership and charitable work. What makes Drouin's honor even more meaningful is that it comes at the end of a campaign in which Drouin took a leave of absence to deal with long-standing anxiety and insomnia issues, making him the latest elite athlete after Naomi Osaka and Simone Biles to go public with the challenges they've been facing.
I think we're at that point where if you can't perform and you can't be yourself day in, day out, it's time to get help and time for you to feel better. And I think, like you said, there's no repercussion. Obviously, I stopped playing. I missed the playoffs and it's tough, but right now I'm healthy. I feel good about myself. Feel ready to play hockey, and my mind's pretty empty and free. So if you need help, I think you should get it, and you shouldn't be shy about getting help. Or at first it's hard to step down and do it, but when you start getting the help and you see the progress, I think that's when you're going to see that you did the right decision.
You love to see him back. You love to see him back playing hockey, Cheryl and Pierre. It's obviously going to be a different year, you hope, for Jonathan Drouin, not only on the ice, but for himself personally, a different experience, if you will, within the season.
Yeah, when you think about it, someone once told me you need to stand on top of your story. And when you listen to his, it is amazing. Such courage and strength in his vulnerability and the impact not only he's having for himself and getting healthy, but the message he's sharing to his teammates and his community that it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah, you just heard him there. If you need help, go get it. And it's going to impact other people. Robin Leonard, the Vegas Golden Knights, has been instrumental that way the last couple of years, talking about his problems and how he's overcome them and the help that he has sought. And I think Jonathan Drouin talking about this and, opening himself up and explaining to people what was going on, it's a big moment for him and for this team and his teammates that were worried about him. Imagine him missing that run to the Cup final because he had to deal with this, which is a lot more important than hockey. I think we're all cheering for him this year to find his way back here. And it was great the way the crowd reacted in the intra-squad game last week. He admitted having a tear. Just good stuff.
Absolutely. And like you said, it had to have been extremely serious and a heavy moment for him as well to get that help and miss that playoff run. But hey, we are glad that he did, and as Pierre just said, we are all rooting for him. Tied at 1s through 2 periods of play. We'll have more when we come back. Second period, playing in his first preseason game, scoring his first preseason goal was Brendan Gallagher to knock things up at 1s apiece. Canadians out shooting the Senators again in that period, 9-6. With more, let's go to Brian and Dave.
Tessa, Montreal Canadiens general manager Marc Bergevin has made some crafty moves the last 2 years, but maybe the most important, signing Jeff Petrie to that extension, 4 years, $25 million. He is going to be a veteran presence for a long time for this team, and he's proving again tonight.
He had a terrific second period. He was all over the ice, offensively, defensively. I mean, he made 4 or 5 really good passes. He's so smart on the rush, and he sees the extra layer coming. And he can wait, he can find holes. He had a great wrap opportunity right out of the gate, right at the start of the period. But his role changes again a little bit this year because he will see the number one matchups. He doesn't have the luxury of Shane Weber now to share the number one matchups with. And I would say it was a shared basis. I'll be interested to see who he partners with. I'd like to see him partner with Romanov, actually. And that would be a question of trust in the makeup. And, you know, they've got Joel Edmondson. You've got Ben Sherrod on the left side. And David Savard will help him with some of the defensive responsibilities. But I expect Jeff Petrie will have another terrific year for Montreal.
4 straight seasons of 40 or more points, and I can expect similar production as well. So can the Canadiens this season.
Thank you, Jets. All right, let's take a look around the league over on TSN 3. Jets, Oilers, first period. Jets steal the puck at the half wall. Kyle Connor scores. He led the Jets in goals last season. It's 1-0 Jets. This one's actually currently 3-1 for the Oilers. Puljujarvi with 2 goals for himself. And his team, of course. Caps, Flyers, first period, 1-0 Caps. Flyers with the power play. Keep an eye on Claude Giroux. Really gets a hold of this one-timer. It's a power play marker for him. Phillies PP, by the way, sat in 17th last season. Ties this one at 1s, and that's where it sits currently in the second intermission. Rangers, Bruins, first period, 2-1 Bruins. Boston short-handed. Brad Marchand takes off, takes the long feed, dances around his D-men, says see you later. Scores. Bruins were tied for the league lead in shorthanded shorties last season. Excuse me. That made it 3-1. Scores currently 3-2. End of the second period as we take a look around the league. Devils leading the Islanders 2-1, and Red Wings with a 3-0 lead over the Blue Jackets in that second intermission. Also notable is the Coyotes leading the Ducks 4-3. All right, we got third period action ready for you at the Bell Center. Let's send it on back to Brian and Dave.
Tessa, and we have a new goaltender in net now for the Ottawa Senators as Philip Gustafson will take his turn, the 22-year-old. 5-1-2 in 9 games last season, making 7 starts. Good numbers, 216 goals against average, 933 save percentage. As this young man could also be the future. Matt Murray is the near future, obviously, but this guy could certainly carry the load down the stretch.
And it gets down to wine time now where you don't know if you're a young player in this game, if this might be the last period you get for the next however long. And there will be cuts after tonight on both sides. And Philip Gustafson, a player Pierre LeBrun mentioned, doesn't need waivers. He can go down and play in Belleville, but he's been pretty good. So they're going to have to make a decision and see what develops in their goaltending situation. But a big period for players on both teams. I would expect a spirited period here.
Final 20 minutes for both teams to shine and make their final pitches to their coaches. Shoots and scores, and that is Slick Nick Suzuki. Oh, he's been making an impression for the last few years. It's 2-1 Montreal.
Little hesitation there when that puck hit his stick. Good job by Toffoli down low. Gallagher involved. Talked about Gustafson coming into the game. 21 seconds in, he sees a post and man beat him, and Suzuki's been good tonight in his subtle way, but little play behind the net by Toffoli. You can see him just chip it out. It goes past Gallagher, the first line. Brandstrom goes to Gallagher, and that frees up the deep slot. Then Suzuki says, I will take that one, thank you.
So a tough start to the game for Philip Gustafson as Nick Suzuki absolutely unloads. He had 15 goals in the regular season last year, 7 in the playoffs, and it's looking like he'll just take another step now for the Montreal Canadiens. And he's made it a 2-1 hockey game, just underway here in the third period. As Kulak picks up the pass pass. He'll zip it across. That shot, Josh Brown taken down, going back defensively. Sokolov swing and a miss, trying to get the puck. Here's Paling in the corner, and Gustafson's seen enough. He'll snag it out of midair for a face-off in Ottawa territory.
Yeah, just going to catch his breath here. He's thinking to himself, boy, I come into a barrage here. Montreal right up on their toes, but, you know, even a player like Ryan Paling, you know, you look at some of the guys, Yelenin, I think, has shown a strong effort tonight. Real quick stick, and he had a great opportunity on the power play situation.
So Toffoli, Petrie picking up assists. As the veteran Perreault, nice face-off win. Back to Jack-Eye. Bork shoots off a leg, down the ice. Jack-Eye has to hustle back as Hetherington thought about going in deep. He'll settle and sit on his Montreal Canadian blue line as Jack-Eye up the ice. Dauphin absorbs the body check. Perreault into the corner, centering pass. Dauphin over his stick, right back to Jack-Eye. Fluttering shot, that was a Senator getting a stick on it. And again, Gustafson, welcome to the party, makes that stop as Sabourin taking down at center ice. Weidman throws the pass, hits Perreault. Dauphin, big body check as Ridley Gregg lines him up and hits him. Cole Reinhardt, his teammates changing behind the play, so he'll dump it in. Primo leaves for Romanov. Had to move it quickly as Kastelik was shadowing him. And the player you talked about in intermission, Jeff Petrie, ready to take on even more responsibility this season, up for Baddock. Kastelik floats it in. Sherwood couldn't get there in time as Cole Sherwood keeps it moving. Sherwood back up to the point. Wrist shot off the stick and high. Pontus Aberg, Kastelik working for Ottawa in the offensive zone. Aberg can't handle the bouncing puck. It's to Belzile. He'll use the boards up the ice for Baddock. Astro hit by Baddock from behind. Bernard Docker stretching the ice, looking for Stutzla, but too much stretch as that will be icing, and a face-off in front of Philip Gustafson.
Matthew Perreault with a little deflection here from the point. Jack-Eye gets the puck through, and it's just a knockdown by Perreault that throws it down into the feet of Gustafson and has to make another opportunity, take another opportunity away from Montreal. He's had a couple of crazy bounces around him early in this period.
Kastelik off the draw with Suzuki. Suzuki gets the puck back, high off the glass, behind the net. Cole Sherwood hitting Gallagher. Gallagher, though, setting up Suzuki from his back end. The flip to Foley in, shoots, post. The follow-up, Gallagher, Suzuki. Foley shoots and he misses. This line buzzing. And the crowd feeling it at the Bell Center. Oh, man, Foley, he had a wide-open cage and couldn't click that time.
What a dish by Nick Suzuki.
Here's Lehkonen. Hit Yolonen in the skates. Connor Brown moves it up ice. Jack-Eye will pick it up. Toffoli, Suzuki, Gallagher. They have looked really sharp.
Yeah, they've done exactly what they just want to come out here and work on their timing. Obviously, Gallagher's first game, but Suzuki and Toffoli have seen action and just get their timing down, work on the little nuances of their game.
And you could speak to it too. You can skate and practice all you want, but there's practice legs and there's game legs, even if you're a veteran and it's an exhibition game.
No question about it.
Agazino towards the net. Brandstrom was in deep looking for the tip. Jack-Eye back for Weidman. Off the boards, high and down the ice. Lassie Thompson. Little give and go, gets to the puck, tries to jam it in. Jack-Eye able to take it away momentarily. Him and Agazino get tied up right in front. Shot just wide as Hetherington was jumping in from the blue line, and what a look that he had, Dylan Hetherington. 11 career NHL games with Dallas. Played in the KHL last season. Lassie Thompson Waits, shoots. No screen, no problem for Paling. As again, Hetherington loaded up. Couldn't get the shot towards the net. Sokolov. Thompson. Tried to feather it through Bork, though. Got his stick down. Good takeaway. And Dauphin is moving up ice for Montreal. Hetherington gets to the puck. Perreault couldn't keep it in. And it's back to Romanov. 5 minutes gone in this third period. Couple veterans scoring. I mean, Suzuki doesn't, he's not old enough to be a veteran, is he? But he certainly feels like one.
He's a veteran.
Gallagher have the goals, and it's Stützle for Ottawa. It's funny, he's growing up in front of our eyes, hasn't he, Nick Suzuki?
In pressure situations, he just seems to elevate.
But it's funny, kidding aside, it's been talked about that Suzuki has become a leader on this team, and everyone does it differently. That's what Jeff Petrie talked about. As cutting in with some speed, Beaudin looking for a scoring chance. Only that went in the net was Jacob Bernard-Docker, and he's slow to get up.
Watch the pass by Nick Suzuki here as he feeds a streaking Tyler Toffoli. Just a little saucer pass. Short side, he beats Gustafsson post, and then on the return, he's got all the time in the world here, but he's worried about the defenseman. He's laughing about it on the bench with Nick Suzuki saying, you got to set me up a little better than that, Nick. The second one, he was worried about the defenseman sliding to block the shot. He knew Gustafsson was down and out, but as a veteran will, he would just take his time, and then all of a sudden he realized, well, this defenseman could be a factor, and he went up and over the net.
Habs fans pretty excited, too. If you get a healthy Mike Hoffman, you get Cole Caulfield, Suzuki, maybe Toffoli. I mean, the power play looks you can get. Pretty appealing for Dominic Ducharme and company. As Toffoli picks it up, Fairbrother for Kulak. Kulak, space, walks in, shoots. Stopped by Gustafsson. Ducharme made the joke that he didn't realize Cole Caulfield was becoming a doctor in Wisconsin. He said that if it was up to Cole, he'd be back on the ice already, but slowly getting back from his injury. Doesn't sound serious. Want to make sure the young man is 100% and ready to go for the regular season. Here's Suzuki. He'll drop it off. Ylonen brings it around the net. Suzuki, far boards. He gets knocked down. Ylonen. Jack-eye. Wrist shot tip. Didn't get through Lehkonen. A good job with the screen, but it didn't get through to Gustafsson. Stützle out of his reach. Paling in transition quickly. Ryan Paling centering pass. Had Lehkonen teed up, but Tierney, good defensive play. He got in the way.
That entire play, Brian, started by the good gap of Jack-eye on this side of the ice, who continues to be noticeable out there.
Connor Brown tries to dish. Lassie Thompson, wrist shot. Nice stop by Primo. Hetherington brings it in himself. Dishes off. Connor Brown still with it. He'll take it around the net. Connor Brown looking for the trailer, and that was Lassie Thompson at the blue line. He's got to retreat.
Hetherington, a good example of a young player who's just said, you know what, I'm playing and I'm going, and he's been up ice 3 or 4 times this period already when we hadn't seen him earlier in the game.
Connor Brown at the blue line. He'll backhand it in and chase after the puck. Petrie gives him a shoulder. Romanov gets on the puck. As Perreault, the outlet to Dauphin. Petrie cutting in, trying to kick it to his stick. Petrie thought he scored on a wraparound try earlier in the hockey game. Petrie again towards the net. That pass, Perreault didn't have his stick down. He protects the puck. He'll backhand it in. Jacob Bernard-Docker trying to clear, cannot. Perreault gets there momentarily. It pops free, and Romanov will just flip it in with a backhand, and all 5 off for a change for Montreal.
Gabriel Bork, 400-plus games in the NHL. You know, a veteran pickup, 31 years old. That'll give them some depth should something happen. You know, likely to start the year in Laval, but it's a depth pickup for Marc Bergevin.
Kulak starts that play. Belzile the chip. Logan Shaw's back. Up the right side for Ridley Gregg, who's making moves. He's got space, shoots, and a bit of a knuckler. Ridley Gregg cutting in. The C's opened up for him and had a pretty good look at the slot.
They scored that ridiculous goal in the opening game against Winnipeg before being removed from the same game for a high hit on Pierre-Luc Dubois and suspended for a game plus a regular season game, but showing the hands there once again on that one-on-one play in the slot area.
Approaching the midway point of this third period, a 2-1 lead for the Habs. Suzuki up the left wing. Gets pushed off the puck from Kastelik. Suzuki back on the forecheck. Lassie Thompson looking for Kastelik. Trying to get around Jack-Eye. Jack-Eye stands him up. Couldn't get the puck. Kastelik's on it. Throws it along the boards. Hetherington. Aberg. Lost it. Jack-Eye. It goes in the skates of Aberg. And again, Montreal can't clear. Cole Sherwood. Wrist shot up high. And Primo got a touch, and it deflects out of play. A star in Montreal, and the star continues to shine brightly. Nick Suzuki sniping. He's got Montreal on top 2-1. On a Saturday night, MLS on TSN continues tomorrow from Toronto as TFC continues its homestand against Chicago. Coverage underway 3:30 Eastern, 4:30 Atlantic on TSN. Welcome back inside the Bell Center, downtown Montreal, as the preseason continues. Second game of a back-to-back. The Sens will host the Leafs on Monday, and the Leafs host the Habs on Tuesday, as we'll make more cuts and get a better look at what both rosters should look like for the Sens and the Habs as we inch closer to the regular season.
Yeah, I would expect we'd be seeing the numbers in, 12, 14 guys that'll be in the lineup on opening night. In each of those games, that'll grow.
Tierney looking to set up Connor Brown. Swatted to neutral ice. Stützle will send it back. And he's on the puck. Here's Stützle. Skating around Gallagher. Little chip to himself. Crafty play. Stützle on the move. Tierney side of the net. Chris Tierney had Brown in front. Pass through the crease. Nobody there. Bernard Docker waits, shoots, and that's into the glove and held by Caden Primo.
Coming out the short side, there's so much room behind the nets in Europe, and these young players like Stützle love to come back out the short side. Chris Tierney expecting the pass, but didn't have enough room to tuck it by Caden Primo on the short side.
Look at Jacob Bernard Docker.
He's been steady tonight, coming back from an injury, missed part of camp. Another product of the fine program at the University of North Dakota.
Puck on his stick, he'll send it across. Aspro shoots it in. Primo can't settle it down. All the way along the boards and back to Bernard Docker once again. Watched by Ylonen. Paling also on the forecheck. Lehkonen tries to get it back to Poehling. Hand pass, so play whistle down. Worked with Jamie last night, asked him as a goaltender how he approached preseason. And we'll set you up for that when we come back. We're going to take a break as the Habs lead 2-1. A Habs 5th-round pick way back in 2010, and that year as a rookie nearly won the Calder. He lost to Jonathan Huberdeau that year, and years later, I'll never forget the heart and soul player of the Habs, just broken after that Game 5 loss to Tampa Bay. You could just see it on his face. He really is the spark of this team. And to see him come back and smiling and meeting the media after having a short summer off at the very least, obviously trying to get refreshed and ready to go again and chase that dream one more time. But, you know, he really wore it on his face after that tough loss in 5 games.
Now, the veteran player understands how hard it is to get there and the full appreciation. You know, sometimes somebody goes their first or second year in the league and they think it's going to happen all the time. And Brendan Gallagher far too respectful of how difficult this game is to think that.
Said from a guy who played in a few cup finals himself, so you would know all too well about the feeling in the battle.
But you go early, and I went my second full year in the league. You just think you're going to go back every year. You've got a young team and, you know, poised to do it every year, and you realize, no, that's not what the rest of the league thinks.
You were 3 cup finals, weren't you, Dave?
3 times,
yeah,
yes.
3 times. Here's Fairbrother for the Habs. Sokolov, good steal, works it below the goal line. Ryan Poehling using the glass, able to clear. Bernard Docker loves it down. Lehkonen meets him right there near boards with Bork. Stützle trying to jam it free, and he will, but it's to Fairbrother for Lehkonen. Up the ice as Bork gets a stick on it, and he'll skate in. Bernard Docker starting the play, and picked up by Brown. Connor Brown with Tierney. Right at the line, he'll shovel it in. Tierney hits Romanov. Petrie. Romanov assessing his options, and man, he just about got loaded up by Stützle of all people. Able to sidestep most of that check. Tierney picks it up with Connor Brown. Petrie, the crafty flip away from trouble for Dauphin.
Just put that puck in such a good place, Jeff Petrie did. So his winger could come down, Laurent Dauphin come down and get the puck.
And there's a trip. That's a no-doubter. And the Montreal Canadiens a chance to go back on the power play, as Laurent Dauphin was upended.
But the whole play starts with just a solid play by Jeff Petrie.
26, Montreal penalty tripping.
Back in his own end, putting the puck in a good area where Laurent Dauphin could come back in and get it. So just a really smart play, and then Brandstrom reaches out with his leg. Coaches want to get into good habits, and they know that these aren't going to be the rosters they're going into the season with, but the players that are there, they're emphasizing right now, if you're Montreal, the power play puts the game away. That's what it does. On the Ottawa bench, DJ Smith is saying, look, we need a big kill here. We're only down by one. We need a big kill. It's your job to go out and kill it. You're giving young Ridley Gregg the face-off to the left. But Philip Gustafson.
And the veterans for the Habs are certainly out. As you see, Perreault and Suzuki, Toffoli, Petrie, Gallagher on the ice for this power play for Montreal. Logan Shaw, good wheels to steal, zips it back to Josh Brown as Ottawa Senators back on the penalty kill. Primo has got to play it quickly as Ridley Gregg was in the vicinity. Here's Suzuki over the line. Tried to pass with Gallagher. That's broken up. Tierney scored a few shorthanded goals in his time as well, leading Ottawa a couple of seasons ago in that department. As Petrie will wait and get things set up. Here's Paling, some speed up the left side. Ryan Paling waits in front. Belzile and Connor Brown tied him up just enough. Couldn't get a shot away. Belzile, Paling, back up top. Weidman to Foley, back to Weidman. Shoots just wide with Paling in front. Romanov, Belzile, back to Romanov. To Foley, space in front. Oh, what a setup, and Paling couldn't convert. To Foley had Paling right at the side of the net, and he couldn't bury it. There's Weidman again, walking the line. Belzile. For Toffoli, 30 seconds left in the man advantage. Toffoli waits in front. Paling got shoved down as Hetherington knocked him to the ice. Weidman's on the puck. Romanov, he's down low. Back up. Weidman to Foley. Weidman thought about it, goes back to Toffoli. Seam pass through Romanov. 5 seconds left in the man advantage. Back up for Weidman. Toffoli waiting. He shoots. That's blocked. Good shot. Lassie Thompson off the boards. Toffoli able to get his stick down. Otherwise, Brandstrom might have had some time and space. And Toffoli knocks him down for good measure.
Well, Toffoli staying out for the full 2 minutes, but that second unit, once again, just zipped that puck around. Ryan Paling with a couple of excellent opportunities, unable to cash in.
Agazino trying to get the pass from Sokolov. So the Habs 1 for 4 tonight on the power play. 5 shots. Agazino tried to get the pass through. Gets another opportunity. Around the boards it goes. Sokolov hit by Fairbrother. J.C. Baudin up for Lehkonen. As Baudin reaching for it. Couldn't bring the puck with him. Fairbrother shoots it into the glove of Gustafson, and he elects to hold. With 4 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in this third period. As Paling, what an opportunity. His Habs do lead 2-1.
shootout last night, the 7-2 shootout. A high tip by Timmy Stützle of Eric Brandstrom's shot. And then Brendan Gallagher takes advantage of a broken stick by Josh Brown right onto his tape and a shelf. And Nick Suzuki, slick little play from Tyler Toffoli out from behind the net. Gallagher causing chaos in front. And that's what we have. That takes us 2-1 with 4 minutes and 21 seconds to go, Brian.
As Brad Perreault lining up to take the draw with the left of Philip Gustafsson. Good night in the face-off circle for Perreault. Another win for him as the Habs able to control off the draw. They go back to work. Brandstrom gets the puck, tries to release it. And Greg, good work to get it to Josh Brown. He'll move it up quickly for Cole Reinhardt. Sabourin, little backhand along the boards. Josh Brown shoots deflected twice, still in front. And alertly with Sabourin right in the crease, Caden Primo found it and holds.
Nice job by Primo again of fighting through. He's working through a little arm situation here and cleaning his crease out, but good job by Primo of battling through. A little traffic in front of the net, and Sabourin in there causing a little uncomfort in terms of sight lines.
Tierney Paling line up in Montreal Canadian territory. Back to Lassie Thompson. Hetherington shoots, deflected wide of the net. Puck to the near boards. Paling in his skates chips it to center ice. As Toffoli tracks the puck, shoots it towards Gustafsson, and he'll play it. Under 4 minutes remaining. As Ottawa trying to claw back now in this third period. Again, alertly, Caden Primo. Little bouncing puck, steers it to the corner. Brendan Gallagher. Suzuki. Nice little chip to himself. Toffoli waits for help, finds it in Gallagher. Gallagher avoids the check for Suzuki. Backhand, and Toffoli was tracking in. And this line in sync. You can just feel it even from up here, watching them work together in this exhibition game.
3 right shots, and they put the puck in good positions for each other.
Another steal. Shot deflected off a stick as Brandon Baddock. Pretty good opportunity. Kulak from distance into the glove of Gustafsson.
Gustafsson coming in for the third period. Caden Primo got the whole game tonight. Young goalie loves to get that. Pretty solid night with 18 saves. A little more action than 18 or 19 shots would indicate, though.
And talking with Jamie McLennan, who did the game last night in Ottawa, it's tough for goalies too. I mean, they have their routine. You stretch, you get ready, you get warmed up, and sometimes you come in for one period or maybe for half the game. Not the rhythm they're usually used to, but you got to get your reps in when your number's called. But to your point, nice to get a full game in and try to get some confidence going with the regular season around the corner. Sokoloff right in front. Now Agostino chance. Rebound try, and that was stopped by Primo. As the follow-up shot from Logan Shaw handled by the Canadiens netminder.
And situational again. That's a big save with 2.5 minutes to go in the game. So it may not look like a high shot total, but there's some key plays in which Caden Primo has been really good.
We'll see if DJ Smith will pull Philip Gustafsson. You have to assume in the very near future, as Stützle didn't like what he saw, so he'll curl around and reset from his own zone. Brandstrom gets the return feed from Lassie Thompson. And look out, a bad bounce, and that is not in the net, just steered in time. We had a premature horn as Gustafsson got it off the line just in time.
What a great rescue by Philip Gustafsson.
That was a train wreck in slow motion, and he got back in time and kept it out of the net. As Perreault knocks it down. Crowd buzzing here at the Bell Center. 7,500 got a kick out of that, as did we. Here's Bork right at the red line, across for Romanov. Romanov, long shot into the glove, and Gustafsson will play it. It feels good just to hear that again, doesn't it?
Yes, it certainly does.
And he goes to the net again, so Gustafsson to the bench, extra attacker out. Final minute Bell Center, third period. Habs trying to hang on here with a 2-1 advantage. Just Gallagher. Nice little chip. Connor Brown shoots it back in. Jeff Petrie collects the puck again. He'll chip it down the ice. Lassie Thompson gloves it down to his stick. Here's Toffoli. Scott Suzuki in front, but Brandstrom just in time picks it off. Brandstrom up the ice for Sokolov. Connor Brown. Watched by Gallagher. Gallagher tries to take it away. Brown, good work to get to the puck. Brandstrom. Bernard Docker, wrist shot. Gallagher the block. Can't clear the zone. Held in. Bernard Docker again. Shot tipped and a stop by Primo. 15 seconds remaining. Gallagher's got the puck. He's got an empty net. Brendan Gallagher waits, shoots, and a good block. That was Stützle got in the way. 7 seconds remaining for Ottawa. One last push maybe for the Senators. Got to shoot quickly. Stützle, one last chance, blocked, and game over. As the Montreal Canadiens hang on and win 2-1 on a Saturday night at the Bell Center.
2-1, hard pressed to think it wasn't 3-1. Philip Gustafsson on his way to the bench, and all of a sudden the puck is going back towards the net, and watch the rescue play. Look at the speed of Gustafsson. Back and pulls it out of his net. What an effort by the young goaltender. Good night for Caden Primo. Good night for Brendan Gallagher, his first game of the exhibition season, and looked to be gelling very nicely with Nick Suzuki and Tyler Toffoli. But some positive signs for both coaches, Brian, and a different game from last night's 7-2 game, a 2-1 final here tonight, and a good win for Montreal on a Saturday night at the Bell Center.
20 saves for Caden Primo. And a nice salute to the fans here at the Bell Center. As the Montreal Canadiens rebound after a pretty tough loss last night in the nation's capital, losing 7-2, a 2-1 victory on this night. As the Ottawa Senators will host the Leafs on Monday, the Leafs will host the Habs on Tuesday as the preseason continues. But we can't wait for regular season hockey. That's our next action. Sens Canadiens here at the Bell Center on Thursday. That'll do it. Good night from downtown Montreal. Sports Center is now with Laura Dykin.